Let me ask you something. You sat in your doctor's office. You described everything: the exhaustion that doesn't lift no matter how much you sleep, the brain fog, the weight that won't budge, the feeling that something is just off. And your doctor looked at your labs and said, everything looks normal. Maybe you got a prescription. Maybe you got a referral. Maybe you got sent home and you sat in your car and you didn't know whether to cry or scream because you knew something was wrong and you felt it. And the person that was supposed to help you find it just didn't. And if that's you, I need you to hear this. What was missed wasn't your imagination, it was the approach. Conventional medicine is designed to find disease. And if you don't have a diagnosable disease, you come back normal. But normal is not the same as well. And nobody is talking about what lives in that gap. And that's what this video is about. Before we go any further, quick but important, I'm Dr. Carrie Barron, board certified doctor of natural medicine, certified natural health practitioner. I am not a medical doctor. I do not diagnose, treat, or cure disease. Everything I share here is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for working with your own healthcare provider. What I do is help women find what's been missed and support the body's God-given ability to heal. Okay, let's go. Here's what standard labs look for. They look for disease markers. They check ranges that tell your doctor whether you have crossed that line into a diagnosable condition. And if you haven't, you're normal. And what they do not look for is dysfunction, the subtle cumulative compounding ways your body is being stressed and slowly losing the ability to compensate. Exhaustion, brain fog, hormones on a roller coaster, weight that does not respond, sleep that does not fix the tired. Those are not random. They're not aging. They're not in your head. They are your body communicating loudly that something in the terrain is off and nobody is looking at the terrain. They will never find it. I want to introduce you to something that changed the way I practice. Dr. Caroline Leaf is a cognitive neuroscientist who has spent decades studying the brain and the mind-body connection. In her book, Switch On Your Brain, she states that 75 to 98% of mental and physical illness comes from your own thought life. Read that again. 75 to 98%. That's not a fringe idea. That is decades of research showing that the chronic stress, the fear, the grief, the unresolved emotional weight we carry translates directly into physical dysfunction in the body. And here's the thing. Proverbs 23 says, as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. God said it first. What we carry on the inside shows up on the outside, in our bodies, in our blood, how we feel every single day. So when I look at a woman who has had every standard test run and still has no answers, my first question is not what supplement's missing. My first question is, what is she carrying that nobody has ever asked about? Now, here's something I need you to understand because most people only know half of this. Physical stress causes emotional distress. We know that. When your body is sick, exhausted, or in pain, your emotional reserves go out the window. You feel anxious, flat, depleted. But the reverse is equally true and equally powerful, if not more powerful. Emotional stress causes physical breakdown. Chronic anxiety, unresolved grief, resentment, fear, these do not stay in your mind. They trigger your stress response. They drive cortisol, they dysregulate your hormones. They keep your immune system activated as if it has a physical threat, because as far as your body's concerned, there is. There's a body of research called the ACE study, the Adverse Childhood Experiences study, that followed tens of thousands of people and found that unresolved emotional trauma dramatically increased the risk of developing serious physical disease decades later. Heart disease, autoimmune conditions, not primarily because of genetics, because of unresolved emotional stress living in the body. Physical and emotional health are not two separate conversations. They have always been one conversation, and most practitioners are only having half of it. Here's something that most people, including most practitioners, never talk about. For your body to heal, it has to feel safe, not just mentally, physically, at the cellular level. When your nervous system perceives a threat, real or not, past or present, your body shifts into survival mode. Heart rate up, cortisol up, blood flow redirected. Digestion slows, immune function changes. Every resource your body has gets redirected toward one goal, getting you through the threat. Healing is not on that list. Your body does not repair tissue, balance hormones, or restore energy when it believes it's under attack. It can't. That's not how God designed it. Safety first, healing second. That is the order of operations. And here's where it gets hard. If you've been in that state long enough, months, years, decades, you stop recognizing it. It just feels like you, feels normal. The low-grade hum of anxiety, the never fully relaxing, the always on, the waking up already tired. You stop calling that stress because it has become so familiar, you can't remember the alternative feels like. I'm included in that too. I've been there. And sometimes I still have to catch myself, sometimes often. So when a woman comes to me who has tried everything and nothing has worked, one of the first questions I ask is not, what are you taking? It is, does your body actually feel safe right now? Because the answer is no. And for most women I work with, it is always no. Then we have to address that first. Everything else gets built on top of it. So what does it look like when someone actually addresses the whole picture? I work with my clients across 6 areas because that is how God designed us to function. Not as a body that occasionally has feelings, but as a whole, integrated person where every area affects every other. We look at what's happening emotionally and spiritually first. That is the foundation everything else sits on. Philippians 4:6-8 says to be anxious for nothing, to bring everything to God with thankfulness, and then it tells us exactly where to direct our thoughts. Whatever is true, honorable, right, pure, lovely, dwell on these things. It's not a spiritual encouragement. That is a prescription for the thought life. God designed the mind and body to work together, and He gave us the instruction manual. We look at your environment, your home, your relationships, your daily exposures. What is surrounding you either supports your healing or undermines it. There is no neutral. We look at your toxin load, what your body is being asked to process and clear. When those pathways are overloaded, everything downstream suffers. We look at movement, not the workout you dread and white knuckle through, but fun, sweaty activity that actually brings your body and your nervous system back to life. There is a difference, and your body knows it. We look at what you are feeding your mind and who you are doing life with, because isolation is a physical health issue, not just an emotional one. 1 Corinthians 12 says that we are one body made of many parts, and when one part suffers, the whole body suffers. It's not just a description of the church. That is exactly how God designed the human body to function, interdependently, in connection, no single area in isolation, ever. When any of these areas are chronically depleted, the rest of your body pays the price. Before I tell you how I assess all of this, I want to give you 2 things you can use right now, because I always want you to walk away from these videos with something practical. The first one is walking. I know, you've heard it before, but hear it differently. Walking is not about calories. Walking is one of the most effective nervous system regulators we have. When you walk, especially outside, your brain engages both hemispheres through the natural left-right movement of your body. The stress response calms, cortisol drops, emotional residue your body has been holding on to starts to move. A study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that people who walked in a natural environment showed measurably reduced activity in the region of the brain associated with rumination, those repetitive anxious thought loops. The physical act of literally walking changed their brain activity. That is the thought life Dr. Leaf was talking about, and a walk is one of the simplest ways to interrupt it. 20 minutes outside. That's it. Not a workout, a walk. The second one is grounding. And this sounds almost too simple to be real, but the research backs it up. Grounding is the direct skin contact with the earth, grass, soil, or sand. Your body picks up free electrons from the Earth's surface. Research published in the Journal of Environmental and Public Health found that grounding reduces cortisol levels, improves sleep quality, and decreases markers of systemic stress in your body. God literally put the answer under our feet. So combine both. Take your shoes off. Walk outside for 20 minutes. You are supporting your emotional regulation and your physical stress response at the same time in one thing. There's a blood panel I use called the Root Cause Landscape. It's not its official name because the official name tells you absolutely nothing about what it actually shows. So I renamed it because what it gives us is a map of what is happening in your body right now. Not whether you have a disease, but how well your body is actually functioning and how much capacity it has to heal. Think of it like a check engine light versus a full diagnostic. Most standard labs are the check engine light. They tell you something is wrong, but only after it's pretty far gone. The root cause landscape is the diagnostic. It looks under the hood before the light even comes on. It measures 6 specific markers. 6, that's it. But those 6 were identified because they consistently showed up as the strongest predictors of long-term health, whether your body is thriving, coping, or quietly struggling. They roll up into 2 categories. One side looks at what is stressing your immune system, hidden pathogens, toxin burden, things your body is actively fighting. The other side looks at how well your cells are actually making energy and using the nutrients you're giving them. All 6 combined into one overall score, 1 to 100, and the lower, the better. The lower your score, the more resilient your body is, the more capacity you have to heal. Now, here's the piece that ties directly back to everything we just talked about. One of those markers is called Glyc-A. Glyc-A is your immune system's way of telling us it is busy. Something has it activated. Could be a pathogen, a biological invader your body is fighting, could be food your body is reacting to, or it could be chronic emotional stress. Glyc-A doesn't know the difference. It just tells us the immune system is on. And when emotional weight is unresolved and ongoing, it fires the exact same way and same alarm as a biological infection would. It's not a theory, it's what shows up in your blood. And that is exactly what conventional medicine is not looking at. I want to tell you about a client of mine because this ties everything I just said together in a real person. When she came to me, she had done the root cause landscape. 2 things stood out right away. Her Glyc-A was elevated. Remember, Glyc-A is the inflammation marker that tells us her immune system was actively fighting something. Now, I want to be specific here because this matters. A pathogen is not the same as a toxin. A toxin is a chemical or environmental substance your body has to process and clear. A pathogen is a biological invader, a virus, bacteria, fungus, parasite. Something living that your immune system is actively working against. Glyc-A tells us that battle is happening. It does not tell us which one. That is what the deeper follow-up testing is for. Her small HDL particle number was also low. Low in this case is not good. Those are the cleanup crews in your bloodstream. The particles responsible for sweeping out debris and moving toxins out. When that number is low, it tells us the cleanup system is overwhelmed. More coming in than going out. And she had been carrying significant emotional weight, chronic overthinking, a nervous system that never fully settled, years of itching on her back and scalp. Weight went up, not down, after physical work. Hair starting to fall out. Here's the connection I want you to see. Her Glyc-A was high. Her detox capacity was low. And her emotional load was significant. Those 3 things together are not a coincidence. Chronic emotional stress activates the immune system the same way a pathogen does. And when your detox pathways are already overwhelmed, your body cannot clear either one efficiently. It just compounds. We start by addressing the emotional and mental layer first, not supplements, not a diet overhaul, the foundation. Within a week and a half, she sent me a message. Her sleep had completely changed, sometimes 12 hours. The constant overthinking was markedly down. The itching she had lived with for years was gone. She did extremely hard yard work and lost 3 pounds, when normally that level of effort would have caused her to gain 5 and lose hair. Neither of those things happened. Then she said, I feel like my nervous system is finally calming down. That's what I want for you. Not coping better, not managing differently, actually calming down because we addressed what was driving it. And we've not even touched the detox yet. That's coming for her next, but her body did not wait for it. It started responding the moment she gave the emotional foundation the attention it deserved. That is how powerful this layer is, and that is exactly why we start there. Here is a truth underneath everything I've shared today. Your body was designed by God to heal itself when we remove the blocks and give it what it needs. This is not wishful thinking. This is how He built it. Emotional blocks are part of what gets in the way. Physical toxins are part of what gets in the way. Emotional gaps, chronic stress, environmental burden, all of it gets in the way. The root cause landscape shows us where the blocks are, and then we work on removing them across all 6 areas of your health, not just the physical ones. So your body can do what it is already designed to do. We're not forcing healing. We are getting out of the way. Here is what I want you to do now. If you've been told your labs are normal and you feel terrible, you're not broken and you're not imagining it. You are working with a system that's not looking at this part of the picture. The root cause landscape is how we start looking at the whole thing. It's only $99, and it gives us a real map of your body's internal terrain, where stress is pooling, where healing is getting blocked, where we need to start. The link's below. Order it, get your blood drawn, and we'll go from there together. And if you want to understand the test before you commit, I host free live open houses where I walk through it together. Small group, real questions, real answers. That link is also below. Over the next few weeks, we're going to go deeper into every area of your health, into how emotional stress shows up in your blood work, and into something new I'm building to address the emotional foundation first, because that is the piece most people have never been given the chance to actually work on. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. God designed you for more than surviving, more than managing, more than a life built around how bad you feel. Let's find what's in the way. I'll see you next week.